the best CRM and email tools for small businesses. In this video, I'll share my top favorite CRMs. Whether you're a consultant, a small agency, a startup, a growing SaaS business, or any other type of small business, you're gonna find some useful tips here. Hi, I'm Talita. I've been working in marketing since 2012 and working exclusively with marketing automation since 2018. I help businesses use technology to improve their marketing processes. So in this video, I'll focus on the tools I've personally used for clients or myself. Okay, so we're gonna get started talking about what is, in my opinion, one of the easiest and most intuitive CRMs and marketing tools that you can have, which is Kit. I've been personally using Kit for a while and I'm really happy with it. I think it adapts well to what I need, right? It suits my business needs. Kit, formerly known as ConvertKit, is very much targeted to creators. So if you go to their homepage, the very first thing you see is for creators who mean business, right? Kit is targeted to coaches, consultants, course creators, podcasters, YouTubers, social media influencers, and so on. Solopreneur businesses in general. In my opinion, Kit also really works well for small businesses, even B2B businesses potentially, that don't have too advanced automation needs. You'll understand why in a few minutes. But yes, I think Kit works well for any type of business that, just needs to save an email list, send emails, automate a few things here and there, nothing crazy fancy, right? And I'll show you why once we get inside the tool. So let's take a look at the CRM. Okay, so the CRM is located here, grow subscribers, okay? Before you freak out, let me just tell you that this is not real customer data. These are fictional contacts that I have here, okay? So inside the subscribers list, this is where I have, my email list. The very first thing I would note here is that I really like having this graph to understand the evolution of my email list. You can look back in history and go, why did we add 500 new contacts this day? What happened this day? Did we launch a marketing campaign or something? So you can look back and really understand the patterns there. And I think this is very useful for tracking your email list growth. So I like this graph a lot, and the email list is located right here. So you have people's names and email addresses, and then you have a column indicating their subscription date, meaning when they got added to the CRM, as well as their status. One thing that I think that could be improved when it comes to Kit is I would like to be able to change these columns here and potentially add more things here. You'll see in the other two CRMs that we're gonna take a look at, you have the ability to edit columns that you see in your CRM. So I would like to have a column indicating people's city, just so that I can take a quick look and see, where are my subscribers based, right? And are they in a specific city? This is very important if you work locally, right? And stuff like that. So I would like to be able to customize this a little bit. So this, in my opinion, is something that could be improved when it comes to Kit. But this is where the email list is located in a nutshell. To know more about a contact, all you have to do is click on their name and then you'll be redirected to their profile. I like the fact that the profile really only shows the essentials about someone. So email address, first name, job title, last name. There are not too many things that you don't really need to see there. This can be a problem with other CRMs out there. How did they find you? If you're using UTM parameters, you'll be able to see this here, right? If you're tracking where people are coming from exactly. And here you can also see their tags associated to them. How did they get added to your CRM? And here is where you can see what kind of activity this person has shown. So have they engaged with any type of sequence, form? Have they purchased a product, right? Everything that Kit can track will be showing here. If they opened, clicked on links in emails and stuff like that, everything will be displayed here. It's really easy to create custom fields inside Kit as well. All you have to do is click on add field. You can give it a name such as, let's just do city, something like that, right? City. And then the field will be automatically created for you, and then you can fill out that field that you've just created, So let's just do, I don't know, Los Angeles, something like that, right? So you create the field and you can automatically fill out the field, if that makes sense. I really appreciate this about Kit. I think it's very straightforward. What about the process of adding subscribers to your CRM, adding contacts to your email list? How does this work inside Kit? In my opinion, it's a really, really easy and intuitive process. You're gonna click on add subscribers. You can manually create one person by adding their first name and email, or you can import a CSV file. I really like the process of importing a CSV file because Kit explains exactly what you have to do. One feedback that I have to the Kit team here is I would love to be able to filter contacts here. Now, of course, I only have 10, but if I have 5,000 or something like that, I would want to be able to come here, apply a filter and say, I want to see all my contacts who are based in a specific place or who work at a specific company, right? Filtering by email address or something like that. But there is not a way I can filter contacts in the CRM itself. So this is, I think, a downside when it comes to Kit. It could be created in a way that it's easier to find the information that I need inside a CRM. I think it's very relevant when it comes to working with CRMs. And to finalize, lead segmentation. So how do I add tags and how do I split my contacts into different lists and segments here? It's quite easy to add a tag to an individual contact. So all you have to do is go to their profile. You're going to come here to this part called tags and you're going to add your tag here. Okay, of course you have to create the tag in the first place. Bulk editing subscribers is also really easy. All you have to do is select their names here. For example, this one, this one, this one. And then you can click on bulk actions and then add tags. So adding tags to your subscribers is really straightforward. Now, what about lists and segments? How do you split subscribers depending on their tags, right? So for example, if you want to send out a marketing email campaign, you're going to create a segment, right? Which is basically a list. And then you're going to use this list as the list of recipients for your marketing email. So you have to create the list in the first place. This process all happens here where it says create a segment. I think this part could be improved a little bit. I've met people that thought that the create segment section was a little bit confusing if you're literally just getting started with this. Matching all of the following, add filter. What is the filter? What is the filter group? What is the difference between them? This can look a little bit confusing, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to give your segment a name, something like that. I don't know, like founders, right? Let's say I want to select all the founders that I have in my CRM, and I'm going to go matching all of the following, add filter. I'm going to create a filter based on a specific thing, such as, their first name is, or their email address is, or custom field, which is in my case here, job title is exactly founder, right? So I'm doing the whole process really quickly here, but this is just to show you in a nutshell how it works. So create a segment based on a tag, right? You can create a segment based on other things as well. You can create a segment asking Kit to select everyone who is a cold subscriber, someone who has not engaged, or someone who filled out a specific form, or someone who, is based on a specific location based on their postal code. Bottom line, you're going to work with these filters and tags if you want. I do find that this section here can be a little bit tricky if you're just getting started. So yes, if someone from the Kit team is watching this, I would add a tutorial here or something on this create segment part. Overall, as soon as you learn this, as soon as you learn how to create a segment, yes, second time you do this will be much easier. But this is essentially how you're going to, create a segment. This is how you're going to create a segment so you can use this segment inside. Oops, I didn't save this. So that you can use this segment inside a marketing email campaign or something like that, right? Save. Okay. So once you create your segment, you'll be redirected to the segment page, which looks exactly like your CRM, and then your list will be there. In my case, my segment is empty because I don't actually have founders in the CRM. So none of my contacts met that criteria. Job title is equal to founder. Job title being a custom tag, right? Yes, this is how you do lead segmentation inside Kit. In conclusion, I think it's a great CRM. I think Kit is easy to use, it's intuitive enough for someone getting started with CRMs in general. It's also very affordable, right? And if you don't have many advanced automation needs, all you need to do is automate emails after someone fills out a form and stuff like that. I think Kit will definitely suit your needs there. I think Kit is a great tool for this purpose. So easy to use email list and CRM. Let's talk about another tool now. Okay, so Brevo, how do you pronounce this? They used to be called Sendinblue, they changed their name. So I think it's a great tool. I've been using more and more lately, especially for European customers, for European businesses getting started with CRM and marketing automation. I think it's a great tool that does a little bit of everything, especially for small B2B businesses that need to store information about deals, negotiations that are going on, but that cannot afford something expensive right? Like one of the top marketing automation tools that we have. I think, if you go to the pricing page that you have inside the Brevo website, you can take a look at their plans and see it for yourself. The plans are really affordable in general, and I think it gives you a lot for the price that you're paying. So you get, CRM, email marketing, you have an automation section as well, you have resources and tools for the sales team, for the customer support team and stuff like that. These are sort of, they are different products in that sense, but overall the subscription is really affordable. So I think it's a great all-in-one tool for a small business getting started. You'll see that the features that we have here are a little bit more, I would say just a bit more advanced than the ones that we were discussing just now when we were talking about Kit. So let's take a look at the CRM first. Okay, so the email list is located here, contacts, okay? This is my email list. And, obviously, once again, these are all fictional contacts, in case you're wondering. I like that I have the ability to customize the columns that I'm seeing here. So what I'm looking at right now is what kind of subscription they have, SMS or email. Are they blocklisted, yes or no? What's their email and stuff like that? I can add additional things here to my view, and I like that. That is something that I was missing inside Kit, for example, right? So I like that you have the ability to edit columns here. And so I think the CRM is easy to use. You can easily apply a filter based on something, right? I want to see all my contacts who have job title equal to founder, something like that, right? You'll see here that in my case, I don't have any. I don't have founders in my CRM, but it's easy to customize your CRM and it's easy to apply filters to find the information that you need inside your CRM. So how does a contact profile works when it comes to Brevo? You go to their name and this is their contact profile. Now, once again, if you're just getting started with CRMs, marketing automation tools and stuff like that, you look at all this and be like, oh wow, okay, I have a lot to see here. You do. I think it can look a little bit daunting for someone getting started, but there's a lot to explore here. You can see what kind of subscriptions are they, subscribed to, what kind of emails are they receiving, right? You can see in a nutshell the most important information about them. History is located here, as well as email engagement. So have they engaged with any emails that you've sent recently? Of course, emails that you create inside the tool itself, right? No CRM and marketing automation tool will ever track engagement with things that are either outside that tool or somehow not connected with that tool, right? So here you can see this type of data. What kind of email engagement, what kind of engagement are they presenting? And here you can see association. So inside Brevo, we have other objects that we can create, other types of records. These are companies and deals as well. And the cool thing is that, for example, for Sam here, I know that Sam works at a company called ABC Tech, something like that, right? Add companies, I can create a company and I can associate this company with Sam's profile, ABC Tech, and I can do the exact same thing with a deal representing, a negotiation that is going on for that person, right? If I have some type of service or product that I'm selling to this ABC Tech company here, I can create a deal to represent this. So you have contacts, you have deals, you have companies, and this is definitely a plus that you have inside Brevo, the ability to save different types of information which are related to the same person. This is important, especially if you're working within a team. Okay, when it comes to areas for improvement here, because I think no tool out there is perfect, right? There's always something that could be improved. I don't really like how the attribute names are written here, especially because these ones here are default ones and you can't really change them. And so we have job and then underlying title, right? I don't know. It kind of reminds me of a more corporate, boring type of CRM and marketing tool, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just how it's written. I don't think it's that friendly, so to say. It could be improved. And by the way, how do you create new attributes if you need? I think this could be improved as well. The process is not very, very straightforward. You have to go to settings. Then you have to select what kind of attribute you're creating. Is it a contact attribute, company attribute, or so on? And then you click here and then you're going to add a new attribute and then decide on a type. I think it's the ability for the user to find this feature could be improved. This is my critique here, so to say. But that's essentially how you create an attribute, right? So let's say I want to create an attribute called city, something like that. So create attribute, it's a text attribute, it's an attribute that will be filled out with a text, right? And that's how I create this. It's not that difficult, but it takes some time to getting used to in the beginning. Adding contacts. How do I add contacts to Brevo? You're gonna click on contacts. You're going to click on where it says import contacts. You can also create a contact by manually typing their details here in this form, okay? This is a very straightforward process. Import contacts. Here you're going to select what kind of data you're importing. So let's just say we're importing an email list. Continue. The screen that you see here, yeah, there is a lot to, look at. It's giving me alternative options to grow my email list, but I'm looking to import, so I don't think this should be here. I could be copying and pasting this from somewhere. And then here it gives me an example, but from this example, I don't really know if I need to create a contact ID or not. So I have to click on show the expected syntax. So look, there's some room for improvement in the process here. Of course, once you do this for the first time, the second, the third times will be much, much easier. I do think there's a bit too many extra steps to get to what you need. But either way, this is how you either add a list by copying and pasting or importing a file. In my opinion, the import file process is much easier to follow. So you're gonna click on your file here, you're going to select this from your computer, you're going to map the data with the columns that you have in your file, and that's pretty much it. So I'm all good with importing an email list, but when it comes to the copy and paste option here, I think some steps could be improved in the process. Once again, for someone getting started with Brevo, right? And that's basically how you add contacts to Brevo. Very similar process to what we were discussing inside Kit, just a few extra little details to look at. So once you have your attributes, right? Once you have your tags created and filled out, how do you do lead segmentation inside Brevo? I think that you have two options here, lists and segments, okay? So for someone getting started, I don't think this is that clear. What is the actual difference between lists versus segments? They even add a help article here, so you can read about the difference between these two features. Overall, you create lists in a different way than you create segments. So for example, inside the lists section, when I create the list itself, the list will be empty. I have to add people to that list, okay? I'm just giving you an example here with a list called partners. So when I create a list, this is the list here that I've just created, okay? And it's empty. Okay, so I have to add people to the list. And so the list represents that data that I have at that time of creation, right? I can import a CSV file with partners. I can manually create a contact and add this person to the list. So it's almost like a static thing, right? It represents data in that period of time, the period of time when I create the list in the first place. And a segment is more dynamic because I can create a segment based on a filter, right? Here is an example to show you. So I can go filter, job title. Where is it? Job title is equal to founder, okay? And so this segment here, founder, this segment here doesn't represent data from a specific period in time. This segment will be dynamically updated, right? If I add new founders to the CRM, these new founders will be added to my segment. A segment is dynamic, so to say. And so it can be considered a piece of a list because you can work with these filters to extract that information, right? Overall, I don't want to get too much into details because this is supposed to be just an overview. List and segments, this topic can be a little bit confusing, but once you understand the difference, once you learn how to operate these two features, doing lead segmentation inside Brevo is actually really straightforward. In a nutshell, I think that Brevo is great for small businesses that have some type of transaction, service that they are providing, because then they have the possibility to use deals, associate contacts with companies and stuff like that. So businesses that have a little bit more of lead segmentation needs, automation needs in comparison with, customers who are using Kit, for example. It's a great comprehensive tool for a very affordable subscription, and you can spend based on that, right? If you realize that you need sales features, you can add this product to your package and stuff like that. So I think Brevo is a great starting point if you are starting to have more advanced needs for how you store contacts, how you store information about your contacts and things like that. Okay, HubSpot. Where do I even start? Full disclaimer, I work as an independent HubSpot consultant and trainer, so I talk a lot about HubSpot every single day of my life. But that doesn't mean that I don't have constructive feedback about HubSpot. And I'm very honest with my clients. Sometimes I tell clients, look, I don't think HubSpot is for you. I think the tool that will be perfect for you is XYZ, right? So I don't think HubSpot is for everyone. In my opinion, HubSpot is really, really good, especially because of automation. So if you are, a growing startup, a software as a service business, or, a B2B business that has automation needs, right? You want to automate more than just that simple email coming from a form submission and stuff like that. I think HubSpot is great for that. But let's talk about CRMs first. So this is where the CRM is located, okay? The same that you have inside Brevo. Inside HubSpot, you can also create different types of records, contacts, companies, deals, and stuff like that, okay? They are stored in different lists, as you can see here. This is your CRM. Well, HubSpot is really comprehensive in a way that you can customize everything that you want here. You can apply all the filters that you want based on every single type of data point to find the information that you need inside HubSpot. So editing the columns that you're seeing here is really straightforward. All you have to do is tick these boxes here, okay? And you can also apply filters to find the exact information that you need inside HubSpot. Now, once again, if this is your first thing doing this, there's a lot to look at, and the filters can be quite confusing. Filters are based on properties. Properties are data points that store information about records, about, in this case, contacts in your CRM, right? So you have a property called job title, you have another property called city, and so on and so on and so on. So everything you're going to do here, filters, stuff like that, will be based on properties, right? I do think that this UI could be improved for someone just getting started, because I understand that there is a lot to look at here. And then you can also create additional views, and so I don't want to get you confused here. This is the CRM in a nutshell. What's great about HubSpot when it comes to contact profiles, something that you don't really have in the other tools, you can customize every single thing that you're looking at here. You can customize the information that you have here. You can customize the information that you're seeing here. You can customize the information that you have here. So there is a way for you to literally only see what you need in the CRM. And that's why I really like HubSpot. It's very customizable, especially compared to the other two tools that we were discussing just now. Okay, so how do I update? How do I add information about people? I can easily update information directly here. For example, I know Jack's phone number. It's 12345, right? That's his phone number. So I can easily just type and save it there. And I can also, create custom fields as well. The process of creating custom fields is, in my opinion, a little bit tricky as well. Let's see how it looks like. So inside your settings, you're going to navigate to this tab called Properties. You're going to click to create a property. And then here is a little bit of a step-by-step process to create the property. So let's just do a property called, I don't know, product type, something like that. Product type. Okay, perfect. I have to select what kind of property I'm creating, contact information. Okay, great. So field type. Field type, you have a lot of different types of options here, and I think it could be a little bit challenging to navigate all these different options that you have inside property types, right? Field types in this case. But what can be good for some people can be bad for others, right? It's always like this. So, perhaps you're in a situation where you just want the basics and you don't want to have too many options because it's confusing and daunting. Or perhaps you're in a situation where this is precisely what you need. You need a lot of different options because there are a lot of different types of data that you might want to save. Some of this information is numbers, and then you might have words, and then you might have options inside a little menu, and then you might have dates, and then you might have currencies, right? So, it might be that this is precisely what you need when it comes to saving information. So it really depends on what your situation is here. This can be good or bad, basically, right? But this is essentially how you create custom fields inside HubSpot. Same as what we have inside Brevo. When it comes to HubSpot, you have different types of lists. Remember that inside Brevo, we had lists and segments. List is something static. Segment is something that keeps on changing, dynamically updated, so to say. It's the exact same thing inside HubSpot. But as always, there is a little bit more of settings and process to it. So I'm going to create a quick list of contacts, okay, to gather information about people, contacts that I have in my CRM. As soon as I add my filter based on a property, such as, for example, job title is founder. I'm just going with the same example because, it's easier. Job title is founder. Okay, so here's my list. I'm gonna review and save this list here. I can review and save this as either an active list or a static list. An active list is a list that keeps, changing automatically, right? As soon as I add more founders to the team, to the CRM, my founders will be added to the list. A static list is a list that doesn't change. So a static list is a list that I create there, and it represents that data in that period of time, right? It's a static thing. It doesn't update automatically. So it's pretty much the same logic that you have inside Brevo. But here you have many different types of options for filters. And this is what's very special about HubSpot as a CRM. Customization, once again, right? You can go, okay, job title is founder. Job title contains the word founder. Job title starts with the word founder or finishes with the word founder. Job title is known, meaning we have a job title register for that person. Job title is unknown. Job title was updated in the last week. And so you can really really narrow down your search for adding data to your list, basically, right? But the logic is more or less the same that you have inside Brevo, except you have more possibilities of storing that data, saving that data. HubSpot is perfect for small to medium-sized businesses that have more lead segmentation needs and automation needs and are ready to pay for it, of course. You know, it's a little bit of an investment. It comes with a full package with many different types of tools that can be relevant for your sales team, your customer support team, and operations team, and so on. And so with HubSpot, you get this really comprehensive package for the tasks that you need to tackle on a daily basis. It's definitely an all-in-one tool in the sense that it can serve as your main source of truth. Sometimes businesses, they rely on many different tools at the same time to accomplish many different things at the same time. With HubSpot, you can do a lot in one place only. You can get all your analytics, your reporting, your content creation, your sales tools, right? CRM, email, needs, everything in one place only. So that's the main advantage of HubSpot. So that's what I think when it comes to the audience, right? Who is HubSpot for? I think HubSpot is a great tool to use, especially if you have automation needs. The automation section inside HubSpot is really, really good. As a CRM, it's also an excellent tool. It can be a little bit complicated, but it can also be great if you need those advanced options for narrowing down your search, filtering for the exact data that you want to see, and stuff like that. Okay, Teresa, so what is the right CRM for me? Kit, Brevo, HubSpot, I don't know, Active Campaign, Keep, Klaviyo. What is the right CRM for me? There is not an answer to that, an answer that I can give you at least. My best tip for you is the following. Check out different CRMs before you make a decision. So some CRMs, actually most CRMs that I've personally used, offer you an opportunity to do a free trial, so you can literally sign up, right? Start using the tool, and you'll have a few days to see how you feel using that tool. And this is by far the most important thing. Of course, a big thing to consider is your budget, right? How much can you afford when it comes to CRM and marketing tool? But you have to really see how you feel using the tool, because you are going to be the person using that tool daily. So if it's a tool that doesn't really, you don't really connect to it very well, that's your answer right there. You should definitely choose a CRM based on something that is intuitive to you, something that suits your needs. If you are a course creator or a coach and you just need to store your email list, you don't need advanced lead segmentation, you don't need anything fancy, all you want to do is automate a few emails, create a sequence and stuff like that, Kit might be an excellent choice. If you are a B2B business, a small agency, and you want to store information about contacts, companies, and deals, right, so that you can track sales and stuff like that, but at the same time you can't really afford HubSpot or other expensive tools, Brevo might be an excellent choice. If you have advanced customization needs, automation needs, if you store different types of data, you're dealing with a large email list, right, in terms of volume of data, stuff like that, I think HubSpot might be an excellent choice if you have the budget for that as well, right? HubSpot as an all-in-one tool, will tackle a lot of different things at the same time, which is excellent if you are already using different tools for different purposes, right? Integrating tools can be a little bit of a nightmare. We all know that. So, this is my take on the thing. At the end of the day, go ahead, get a free trial, start using, see how you feel, and then you're ready to make a decision on the best CRM tool for you. Hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this, and hopefully see you soon.